Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Swagger Magazine's What's Going On. Today, your host, Tyra Gardner, is interviewing the fabulous Tyaisha Blount-Dillon. And so, let me give y'all a little background about Mrs. Blount-Dillon. Tyaisha Blount-Dillon is a dynamic leader with over 16 years of experience in the federal government, where she developed and implemented programs promoting environmental stewardship, sustainable practices, and community empowerment. After a life changing diagnosis of Parkinson's disease, Tyaja transformed her career path, channeling her resilience and dedication into health advocacy. She now champions underserved communities, advocating for brain health awareness, promoting inclusion, and supporting patient specific treatments. Throughout her federal career, Tyaja led impactful initiatives such as the Southern Region Sustainable Operations Program,
Yes, ma'am.
overseeing 13 regional units, and launched the Microgreen Grant Program, which incentivizes sustainable projects showcased through story maps. She also extended her outreach to youth and underserved communities, spearheading educational programs in environmental conservation at summer camps as well as schools. Taisha's ability to adapt and lead has left a lasting legacy of empowerment, engagement, and advocacy for inclusivity and health equity. Everyone, welcome Tyaisha Blount-Dillon to What's Going On. How are you today?
I'm fine, but first I want to say thank you for having me. And your intro was amazing, so thank you so much. You made me feel so honored. You gave me so many flowers.
You have an amazing background.
Whew, it's been a journey, right?
It really has been. And it's just like, and to have all of those years with in federal government, thank you for your service.
Oh, thank you
You know,
so
because we know it's not easy. It's not easy. And then when we look at everything that's happening in society right now with government, are you still in that sector or have you transitioned out of there?
much. So I transitioned out 6 years ago when I had brain surgery
Okay.
because I
Okay.
felt like I needed to prioritize my health, and that wasn't cutting it.
Oh yeah, putting you first is number one.
Yeah, you have a talk with death, and basically you
Hmm.
make a decision, and that's what I did.
Hmm. And the best decision was choosing you.
Yes, absolutely.
It's like we go through life, we choose everything else but ourselves. But when the time comes and it's like, you know what? I'm doing life different. I'm doing
Yes,
me different.
yes,
So
absolutely.
God bless you. I'm glad made that transition.
It was scary, but
So
I did it.
yeah, I know it was I know that was very scary.
Whew.
Oh my goodness. Wow. So let's talk about that. So let's talk about, your transitions with the careers and everything that you're doing now. And so we're gonna start with the big picture. You described this as a silent crisis. Can you break down for our listeners what that crisis looks like, particularly for women and children when it comes to brain health?
Well, more so, what it looks like for a young African American woman at the age of 21 is quite scary to be
Hmm.
bestowed with an illness that you don't know what it's called, what it looks
Hmm.
like, and what the future holds for you. That's quite scary.
Hmm.
I was in
Hmm.
graduate school at University of Tennessee,
Hmm.
and that's an environment where you're not always seen and heard. And so
Hmm.
I was like forging the path for myself to be successful and independent. And
Hmm.
then I'm stricken with this illness, right?
Hmm.
And it showed itself in the form of me working in the field at the Forest Service, my federal job, and I
Hmm.
would have these muscle spasms. And I'd be like,
Okay.
oh my God, I can't move, I can't walk.
Hmm.
And I would have to tell the people that I was with to go ahead and I would meet them later. I was in the forest, a young African American in urban that grew up in the urban community in the
Hmm.
forest, left behind by her other coworkers,
Right.
only to offend and it really is a comparison because when you think about that story and me being left to fend for myself, and
Hmm.
that's the story of being isolated and having that illness, the unknown
Hmm.
illness.
Okay. Yeah. And I guess and your initiative is basically bridging the gap between
Absolutely.
the brain health awareness gap for women and children.
So first of all, brain health is not sexy. Nobody like I feel. I'm just gonna say I feel like if I say, hey, let's let's educate you all about young onset Parkinson's. That's not sexy, right? Because it looks like
Hmm.
something else. Does
Hmm.
Parkinson's look like me? No, not yet, but it should, right? Because I'm the new
Hmm.
age of Parkinson's. But
Hmm.
it's typically known as a stooped. You're in a stooped position and you're a white man,
Hmm.
an older white
Hmm.
man. And
Right.
so, how do I then make it relative and relatable to those around me, so that we can start
Hmm.
having a discussion and normalize it? Because the
Hmm.
statistics show that if you don't know anybody with Parkinson's right now, you will by the end of your lifespan.
Hmm. Hmm. When I was reading over the information that was provided by you and your team, it was like when I seen that it was 84% of women feel unheard by the doctors sharing health concerns. I mean, that is definitely something that, it was shocking, but not shocking, right? Because a part of one of my initiatives is to help people when it comes to mental health. Because I'm actually a therapist by trade, right?
Mhm.
And it was coming to my knowledge that when people are told different things in regards to various, life threatening diagnoses, mental health services is something that's not offered.
No, and I'm glad that you said that because I'm going to tell you, when I was embarking on the brain health journey, and
Hmm.
embarking on DBS, that's deep brain stimulation, getting implants in my brain for Parkinson's.
Yes. Hmm.
I took my son, who was then maybe like 5 or 4, to the
Hmm.
psychiatrist. And we
Hmm.
had a discussion. My husband was there. All of us were there. And he was
Hmm.
like, perhaps I can see you, right? And I was like, hey, I welcome it. So
Hmm.
he serviced my son and he serviced also myself. And prior
Hmm.
to going to the brain surgery, I had my best self forward.
Hmm.
And I thought
Okay.
that was pivotal in my recovery.
Right.
I
Hmm.
think so. To your point, it is very important.
Yeah, it definitely, because at the end of the day, it's major transitions that's happening in life,
And that's
and it's
huge. And
like,
you want to be best prepared to endure it, right?
exactly, exactly. Everybody needs an extra support system.
Exactly.
So I get it. And I know that you mentioned that 57% of women report being misdiagnosed, which leads to delayed or incorrect treatments. When you were going through, when you was starting this whole process, were you misdiagnosed initially?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. And it's so interesting because my misdiagnosis could have been catastrophic. I don't know if you know about the progression of Parkinson's disease, but it has
Yes.
these very progressions, okay?
Hmm.
And I, I'm going to stand up in a minute so you can see how vibrant I am, but I just
Hmm.
want you to know that I could not be like this, right?
Okay.
I
Hmm.
was I was going on a fast track to immobility.
Hmm.
Fast track. I was using assisted devices. I was using a walker to get around.
Hmm.
Um, my husband had to like almost carry me out of work one day. He was like, because we worked together. We worked for the
Oh,
same
okay.
federal government
Hmm.
department. He was like, "You're going home. You cannot do
Hmm.
this." I was
Right.
like walking into walls, and
Hmm.
um, and so I had been diagnosed with things like needing back surgery. And so, what
Hmm.
if I had have gone down that route? What if I had gotten
Hmm.
that? I did not need that.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um,
No.
and it was 13 years of misdiagnosis, to be clear.
Mm. Oh,
And I'm gonna tell you
wow.
the pivotal point in me being diagnosed.
Hmm.
I this is honest and this is true, and I'm being very transparent. But I lost my first son, and the
Okay.
doctors were like, "We got to take this serious. We're gonna plan the next one, the next
Hmm.
child. This is a life. We want to be very intentional about saving this life. Let's
Right.
fix mommy so we can fix the baby, or bring the baby
Mm.
healthy into the world."
Right.
And pivotal for them to take. I mean, not for that staff, but it was
Hmm.
it gave them the leverage because they loved me. I'm just gonna say they
Hmm.
loved me, and
Hmm.
they gave them the leverage to bring my son in the world very healthy and take care of mommy.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. That's awesome. I'm glad
that's
that you
awesome, but
had.
it's sad. It's sad.
It's awesome. No, I'm saying it's awesome that you was able to bring, have your son, and you
Yes,
had the proper team there
yes,
to help you through this whole process and this whole, everything that was going on,
yes,
and that you do have your son now,
Yes. Oh my
because,
God. Yes.
it's that I know it was, sad. I know it was trying, and it was, I'm pretty sure it was a lot of tears shed during
Oh
that
my God.
time because it was so much happening, all at once. And it
Yes.
was just like emotions flying all over the place on, am I doing the right thing? Am I doing the wrong thing? What could I, so I understand all those emotions
Yes.
that you were going through that time. But thank God, you and your son was able to make it through,
Yes. And more
and
so, I'm sad for the women that have to endure this that don't have the support, right?
right, right, because there's a lot more people out there who don't have a support system and and still don't have the proper doctors and medical care to help them, through this process, and still a lot of misdiagnosing.
Yes, it is. It is. And that's why we have the Thriving in Brain Development Project, right?
Yes, yep, and that's what I was getting ready to dive into. Tell us more about your nonprofit that you have.
So it's called the Thriving Brain and Development Project. And the reason why it's the Thriving Brain is, of course, we want to thrive. And the
Mm-hmm.
development is for the younger kids, right? So
Mm-hmm.
there's two aspects of this. It's empowering everybody, women and
Mm-hmm.
children,
Mm-hmm.
to take control of their brain health. And for
Mm-hmm.
children, the easiest way to do that is through addressing the question of food inequities,
Mm-hmm.
empowering them to say, is my community nearby a viable food source or is it not? And
Mm-hmm.
if it's not, they can explore that. And I have a course that I've
Mm-hmm.
developed for kids to dive into exploration with that. But
Okay.
for women specifically,
Mm-hmm.
I have chosen to educate the masses through a web series, and we've started piloting some
Mm-hmm.
aspect of our web series. Now we partnered with an insurance company in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and we've been
Okay.
doing some cooking in their test kitchen. And so I have
Mm-hmm.
a homegirl named Chef Tracy Vincent, and she has
Okay.
Cooking with Tracy, and she's been showcasing some of her meals. Now we've had I, we ran a dry run like a month ago, and then we did
Okay.
another test yesterday, but we had an audience. And so the audience
Okay.
was specific to Baton Rouge, but at the end of
Mm-hmm.
the month, we will open it up until everybody, so they'll get to see the streaming. So to be cooking with Chef Tracy. Now Tracy
Mm-hmm.
specializes in providing nutrient dense meals. So it's good for your
Okay.
brain. It's good
Mm-hmm.
and it's really good at providing meals that are very easy to cook.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Right.
we started to just recently dive into the world of plant based meals. And
Okay.
previously, she's battled with some health issues and she's been able to
Mm-hmm.
resolve some of she's seen some positive results. So she's
Mm-hmm.
fired up and she's ready to give us
Mm-hmm.
some Creole flavor.
Oh, I think that's awesome. I love that, that you are doing this with the chef and that you are, showing people the proper ways to eat and with the brain healthy meals. You
I'm trying.
know, no, you're not trying, you doing. You doing.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it's like when we look at, nutrition is like one of is the number one thing that we have to take a little bit more seriously. And that's everyone across the board.
Yes.
Because, what we intake affects our body in so many different ways, and so I love that, y'all will be focusing on, you know, brain healthy foods, right?
Yes.
Because it is important, to improve our brain function as well as our mental clarity. And I said it,
Yes.
y'all, mental clarity,
And we
because
want it to taste good at the same time, right?
at the same exactly, I love that. I love the brain healthy nutrition, and I think the kids and everything is going to, the children that y'all working with, I think they're going to love it, but I think the adults is going to love it even more.
You know what I would like, and I'm just gonna call put a little brief call to action. What I would like for people to
Hmm.
do is support the movement because this is not just this is a movement,
Okay.
right? And I
Yes.
would
Oh
like them to
yeah.
support the movement. I would like some meal prep kits to be able to go out to individuals cooking with Tracy.
Mm.
So if we could
Okay.
coordinate that. So just sign up on the website, and I know you give the website later. So when you give the
Yes. Oh.
website later, they'll be able to sign up.
Hmm. Yeah, definitely. And will the meal prep kits, will they be able to ship all over or just in the Baton Rouge, Louisiana area?
Well, so I'm in Atlanta right now. So I live
Oh,
in
you're in
Atlanta.
Atlanta. Oh,
But I'm
okay.
from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. That's how we're kind of
Okay.
tied up. And
Okay. Hmm.
I mean, you know the kind of world we live in. Amazon
Yes.
ships everywhere. Whole
Yes.
Foods is everywhere. So there's capabilities. Let's just say it like
Okay.
that. And I think that all the steps will align, and we will have a positive Cooking with Chef Tracy coming up.
I I love it. And so where could people watch your show?
We're going to stream it live, and we're working out the technical details for that. We have about what,
Okay.
3 or 4 weeks to work that out. Oh, Lord.
And these weeks
But
is going by so fast.
I know, and spring break is coming up.
Yeah, so just make sure, definitely make sure Swagger gets the information so that
Yes.
we can all, post it and support you with this.
Thank
You
you.
know, look, it was like as me talking about that, I'm like, Tyaisha,
Ooh.
you doing that cookbook, girl.
Well, so, and Chef Tracy's going to come out with a cookbook. It's gonna be like, let me just tell you how good Chef Tracy is, because I was growing microgreens as part of my effort to make myself
Mm-hmm.
healthy, and she hosted a microgreen party, and she had some
Okay.
tacos that were so delicious with the
Mm,
microgreens sprinkled on top. It was nice.
okay. Oh, that's awesome. And so I understand you are in the process of working on children's books.
So I just finished the manuscript. It's called Miss Bayou's Bounce Back,
Oh, I love it. I
and
love it.
it takes place it takes place in Atlanta, of course, but
Hmm.
it's seen through the lens of my 6 or 7 year old son at the time, and I
Hmm.
had just had brain surgery, right? And
Okay.
um he's talking throughout the book, right? And
Hmm.
he is talking about the value of family, the value
Okay.
of love and laughter to get you through. And he's also talking about how we have a strong and rich culture. I'm born and raised in Louisiana, and my mom is
Hmm.
born and raised in Louisiana. So he's talking about
Hmm.
our rich traditions and everything that holds us together, despite of me having Parkinson's, and how we like to
Okay.
dance and laugh.
Right. Right. Oh,
Yeah.
that's awesome. That's
And
awesome. I look forward for that too.
yes, and I want to say this: it should be out by the end of the summer. And the illustrator previously was the illustrator for the PD Movers book that came out. It's the first African American book
Hmm.
depicting characters that really have Parkinson's, and he
Oh,
has illustrated
wow.
my book. His name is Pearson, Randall Pearson. He's amazing, and also
Hmm.
Columbia University has endorsed the book, so they're working on a
Oh,
complimentary
wow.
workbook.
Oh, that's going to be awesome. Oh, definitely keep us updated,
Yeah,
with that, because again, when we think about Parkinson's disease, everybody always looks at Caucasian people as
oh yeah,
being the most people who have it. And I know Michael J. Fox, was out, promoting it, and, making people aware of
yes,
what was going on because I believe he had early onset himself.
just like myself. Yes,
And so it's just like when you look at the journey, that he's going through and look at the journey of, I mean, you're amazing. When
but
I,
I will say that I learned from those before me. So I
hmm
studied Michael J. Fox's history and the
hmm
things that he did for his Parkinson's, and
hmm
I was like, well, let me just tweak it and see how I can improve my life a little bit better. So if it were
hmm
not for him and the Muhammad Ali's, it would not be
he's
for me.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
And it's like definitely learning from them and being
Yes.
able to add on
Yes.
new things, add on other things to help you to enhance and boost your
Absolutely.
health, you
Absolutely.
know.
And I want to say one other thing, getting back to the book and the PD movers. The PD
Hmm.
movers, I met absolutely everybody in the book. There
Okay.
are about 15 people that are Parkinson's Foundation advocates in the book, and
Okay.
they have some involvement with Parkinson's. They either have that
Hmm.
Parkinson's or they have caregivers that have it. So did you?
Okay.
I mean, thinking quantifying African Americans affected by Parkinson's, that is the first book that quantifies.
Okay. Okay. And that book launched yet or
It's online. It's available
is
online.
online?
Just type in PD
Okay.
movie.
And we can get it through Amazon.
No, it's free. It's
It's a
online,
free book. Okay.
and then if you
Okay.
want a hard copy, you have to pay or something
Of
like that.
course.
I mean, I'm sure you
Okay.
can get the information online.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. And so I understand you also have a higher education engagement in regards to the fireside chat tour.
Not yet, but it's coming up.
It's
It's
coming.
coming up.
Okay. 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 Awesome. And when are you thinking of launching that? When are you planning on launching?
So April is Parkinson's Awareness Month and Autism
Hmm.
Awareness Month. So I'm hoping to do that somewhere in that length of time.
Okay.
Somewhere in April. It'll have to be towards the end of April because I'm so slammed. I'm actually in a hotel right now at a convention. A convention starts
Okay.
tonight in Atlanta, so I'm booked and busy.
I
but
Nothing wrong with that, but I think this fireside chat tour, I think this is going to be awesome
oh,
whenever you launch it, whether you launch it in April or whether if you wait till, school starts back,
oh my
because
goodness,
I
yeah,
believe that I think Parkinson's awareness and informing the college campuses and all of the community spaces, I think this is something that is needed
thank you.
because, so many people out there think, oh, this can't happen to me. But
Right.
no, it can, and we need to have these conversations,
And what I
because
think also, what do we do when it happens?
exactly,
Yes,
but these is conversations that we need to have because a lot of people, it's like when we look at, African Americans, we always stigmatize with one
yeah,
illness, failing
yeah,
to realize just because other people get it don't mean we can't get it too. And
yes,
so it's good that here we are sitting in 2025 and we're having these conversations about Parkinson's and
yes,
and how we're going to treat it, how we're
yes.
going to all of the things that we can do so that we can prepare ourselves,
Change.
and change what's going on in our with our health.
Yes,
It's like our health is our wealth,
yes,
and
yes,
we gotta take it serious,
yes.
on all areas.
I think it's
So
important to change the narrative. If we get more comfortable
mhm,
talking about it, well, then we could be more educated and we can know how to approach it. Don't be afraid of it. We need to
right.
hit it head on.
And I get it. I get it. And so next area we talk about you're working directly on caring for people. Your organizations, it says I'm reading stuff off the bio that
Yes,
you empower women and children with the knowledge and tools that they need to take charge of their brain health. And what we all know, brain health is wealth.
yes.
And so how has it been working with Swagger Magazine?
It's been tremendous, tremendous. Everybody is amazing. I mean, that's all I could say. I've just been
Hmm.
amazed by how I've been so embraced by everybody.
Awesome, awesome. That is great. I'm looking forward to everything that you have coming up this next year and these next years. So tell me,
Mhm.
what do you have? What is your plans? What do you have moving forward?
I
What is your
think that's
next?
I think so. I will say, what I have going on is a lot. I'm so the nonprofit was established last year around
Hmm.
November or December, and it got the
Okay.
501(c) status in a matter of 2 or 3 weeks. So I think that says a
Okay.
lot. I think they believe in me, whoever they may be,
Yes.
right?
Right.
And so just finding a support unit that is willing to rally behind me is the focus because as you see, we're already rolling out impact programs.
Hmm.
And that is
Right.
rare, but we also
Hmm.
have a proof of concept associated with those impact programs. When we
Hmm.
started looking at the data, I was like, wait, we have proof of concept of all of these things. Why?
Hmm.
Because I've been doing it for years, right?
Hmm.
I've been doing
Hmm.
it for about 6 years or even more. So there's
Right.
proof of concept. So we just
Hmm.
need some support, and so that is on the professional, I guess, side. On the personal
Okay.
side of things, because of my interest in sustainability and also what is in the products we use, I
Hmm.
I'm into the fashion and beauty industry, I would say. And for
Okay.
the past 6 years, I have really been trying to vet a partner to work with for a beauty serum, right? Well, not for the
Hmm.
that was not the focus at first. The focus was a muscle rub because my
Okay.
shoulders were preventing me from sleeping
Hmm.
at night because I was having so much pain in certain parts of my body,
Hmm.
due to Parkinson's
Okay.
and so I was looking for a muscle rub, and I have a relationship with the company, and we've been working on that
Hmm.
relationship. So I have now a serum that the company has produced. Their FDA, there's the FDA. They follow the regulations of the FDA and everything. And I'm really
Hmm.
excited, and we're going to work on another formulation as well coming up. I don't know when that's going to be, but I know that I have to
Right.
work. this serum right now.
Oh my gosh, I'm excited for you in this. Look, I want to be the first one to get some. Look, okay, I don't know what happened. We are frozen. All right, so I am so happy for Tyaisha's project, with her serum and everything. This is awesome. This is definitely something that, we definitely need to support her in a mission and support everything that she has going on. This is awesome. I love the idea that we're having a conversation about brain health and wellness.
Hey, cut
And
out.
yeah, there you go. There you go. You froze, and I was just what is going on? All right. So I don't know what's happening with I think the connection is just a little bit off today. But as soon as she comes back on, yep, there she is. I'm gonna bring her back in, because I love us having this conversation about brain health, and I'm happy that, you got 501c3 status so fast, because they know what's needed.
Yes, they know. They know. They know. I really appreciate you saying that.
Yeah, they know what's needed, and it's like I was having a conversation with someone late last evening about, when government and things like that know where the help is needed most, things will happen. Because everything you said, I said about my own nonprofit, because I launched a nonprofit too, and I got
Oh
status
goodness.
within and I did mine. Mine was approved in 2 to 3 weeks as well. So.
So yeah, and I mean I was really shocked because
Mhm.
everybody told me it takes a long time, and I was like, really? I don't know.
In months. Yeah, they said month. They was like, oh, it take about at least a month or a year. And I was like, a month or a year. I said, oh, okay.
Oh man,
Wow. So look, I guess you and I on to something. Look, we on to something.
we are. We are. That means we have a lot of work to do, right?
We got a lot of work to do to get our initiatives out there. We have a lot of work to do, but I love this. If it's anything that I can do to support you, I am here, for you. Swagger is here for you also, Tasia. We want to, anything we can do to help. Like I was saying before we got cut off,
Yes,
let me know when the serum is on the
I
status for
have
the
a
sale,
request.
because I'm ready to buy. I
Well, you
am
know
ready
what?
to buy.
What I was saying before we got cut off too is that my son has
Hmm.
gotten into this academic program where schools are looking at him nationally. And let me tell
Okay.
you, I was up late at night helping. You know, you have to fill out the parent essays, and I was
Yes.
getting bags, wrinkles, and stuff under my eyes and stuff. And I was like, I don't know if I can come back from this. Thank goodness the
Mhm.
serum came in because I feel like it's looking a little bit better.
Girl, I can't tell. Look, well, you need to be telling us how to get this. Where can we purchase
Yes.
that?
Yes. I have a separate website for that. Actually, it's alleycreative.com. I think, let me just double check.
Okay.
Let me see. You know, I have to double check my sources.
No, ain't nothing wrong with that. And
But
there's
you know,
nothing wrong with that at all.
LinkedIn will lead you back to everything. So I'm on LinkedIn as well.
Oh, okay. So everybody make sure you follow Tyaisha Blount-Dillon on LinkedIn. Check her out on Facebook, or and you're on Instagram under your business name, or
No, at TB Dillon, my real name.
T. Okay. Okay, TB Dillon.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Make sure y'all
And I
are
don't,
following her. Hmm.
yes, this is. And I don't have my products yet up, but you can definitely contact me on all those venues.
All right. Well, it was a pleasure interviewing you today. I want to wish you much success.
Thank
God
you.
bless you in all of your future endeavors. Everyone, this is Tyaisha Blount-Dillon, and I want to thank each and every one of you for tuning in to Swagger Magazine's What's Going On with Tyaisha Blount-Dillon. Everyone, have an amazing day, and we will connect with y'all soon.
Bye. Thank
Bye.
y'all.